Hey everybody, Elliot from DataX here. I'm super excited to introduce you to the new inventory integration with JobTread. We've had a DataX inventory integration with JobTread for a little bit, but this is a whole new revamp. You get a UI on the DataX side. We do multi-location and we do some other cool things. So we're gonna jump into it. This video is a setup video and like showing you how everything works. So it's gonna take a little bit to get through the setup, but then we'll show you how everything works and how to use every button on here. But before we get started, let me just get you excited about it. As you can see, we've got multi-location. Let's say this baseboard has 26 at Nashville, 6 in St. Louis. We do some values here. We've got our in-stock quantities there. We've got a threshold. So we can say, let's say our threshold's 10, what is currently set. And let's lower all of this to under 10. So we're going to be apply changes there. And so now we're under 10 for that baseboard and we get a low stock. And we can change that. We can say, hey, if our threshold is actually going to be 20 or 19, then we have to go and add a bunch of inventory. And you see it's back in stock. So a bunch of cool things. We can actually filter by location. We want to see just the stuff in Nashville, just stuff in St. Louis. We can also see locations and we can say, hey, I can see everything just for this a little bit cleaner. And I got 23 in the Atlanta area. What's cool about multi-location is that this could be different warehouses, different offices, could even be different vehicles or different pieces of equipment. Let's say you have Bobby and Sam each drive their separate vans. You can keep inventory tracking them separately. Okay, so just a quick reminder that this DataX inventory integration to JobTread, DataX is the middleman, and we're using JobTread data, but JobTread is sending us the data when you're doing inventory things inside of JobTread. We do the magic sauce and all the logic and code to get it to actually produce and operate like an inventory management system. So yeah, but we have this UI. You don't have to use the UI. You can still do everything in JobTread, but it's here in case you want to. Okay, let's jump in. We're going to go to our settings. You're going to go to the toolbox, come into the settings page. This first card here is going to be your webhook. This sends data from JobTread to DataX every time you do an inventory purchase order. So if it's not connected, it'll be a yellow bar. Click the yellow bar, it'll connect it automatically, and then it turns gray. We have a few assets to create or connect. We can do single inventory and we can do multi-location inventory. Single location, multi-location. If you have to kind of pick which one you're going to do. You shouldn't switch back and forth. Pick single location if you have zero chance of doing multi-location. And then do multi-location if you have multi-location, but you can still do single location on the multi-location. But so you have to pick. If you need a single location, that's the first button. This is going to create a custom field on the cost item. If you're going to do multi-location, it creates a custom field on the cost item, and they're different. So if I show you here, a single location is going to be custom field is going to be just a single number. It'll say inventory. Single location is just going to be a number. You can update this number. A multi-location, this is text and not numbers, so you can type in anything here. That's how we get our locations, and you can have infinite of these. If you keep adding, you can keep adding forever, right? So you can have infinite locations as long as JobTread will keep giving us more custom fields here. Okay. So you can see I've got single location on some items, I've got multi-location, but this is what it would look like. So you can create an inventory view in your catalog and come in and look at what your inventory is inside of JobTread. Okay. And then we have what's called a threshold. So for each cost item, it might be different. For outlets, it might be 10. If you get below 10, you need to order more. For maple 3/4 inch plywood, it might be 2. So you can set that threshold on the cost item and it'll alert you differently based on the cost item. And then we have two documents. We have an add inventory document and a subtract inventory document. These are PO documents, document templates that you use on a job. Create the PO with the cost item, with the quantity, and then it will either add or subtract it. So if you need those, you can click those buttons, it'll create them. Then after you have all this connected or created, then you want to connect them over here. So inventory custom field on cost item. If you're doing a single location, it might look like this. Inventory single location, it's a number. Inventory multi-location, it's text. And those were created from these buttons over here. I already have mine set up here. So I'm going to select my inventory custom field for my cost item. Then I'm going to select my cost item custom field for the threshold. Then I'm going to define my add document and my subtract document. If I'm doing multi-location, we have to set up vendors for each location. So you set up a vendor for your Atlanta office, set up another vendor for your Nashville office, set up a vendor for the different vehicles that you're going to track inventory in. And you'll do that here. So if you need the custom field on the vendor for the abbreviation, you click this button to create it, and then you can map it here. And what that looks like is I've got my inventory vendors here. I have this inventory location abbreviation custom field, and I'm just putting my 3 letters here. It can be 3 letters, 2 letters, whatever you want, but keep it short. Maybe look at standard city abbreviations, right? So B&A is like the Nashville airport, so that's where I got that from. And so each one of these has that abbreviation in the custom field, and that's telling me the different locations for my multi-location inventory integration. Okay, and you assign this here. Okay, now let's go look at the inventory, how this works. So I got it set up now for my single location inventory. We've got our quantity, we've got our cost codes, we got pictures. If you got a picture, it'll load in. You've got your name, you got your unit costs, total value based on inventory quantity, and you got your status, right? So all that's in here. You notice, let's look at our status real quick. If it goes negative for any reason, we just have this critical alert, just let you know this is bad. If you're negative 2 on your inventory, that could be bad. If you're 0, you're out of stock. You're low stock based on your thresholds, and then you're in stock. So you can click on these cost items and update these inside of DataX. So 25, if we go back and look, we got 25 in our inventory here, and we can update these here. Let's say we used a bunch and we're going down. Well, we'll actually add up. Update. Boom, 25. It update. 30. There we go. So, yeah. So you can just update those here. You can update your thresholds in here, and it'll update back in JobTread. Everything stays synced as close to real time as possible. We got our total items, total quantities, total value if you need that for maybe insurance, or you're just tracking value of your inventory, and then anything that needs attention. You can search for your inventory. You can filter by cost codes. You can filter by stock, and then you can add new inventory directly from here. So if we did like a 2x12, we can add some. Let's say we just bought 12 of them. Great. And I've got my 2x12 right here. 12 is already in there. And if we go look in our catalog, you'll notice the 2x12s come in here. There we are. Pretty cool stuff. And if I was going to add, let's say I want to add something to inventory and JobTread manually, I could go and I could switch to all cost items, pick this, go to inventory, I'll do 13, and go back to my inventory view. We'll see it here. If we go back over here, we'll see it right here. Cool. So that's how you can add stuff manually on the single cost item. So if I'm on a job and I want to pull something, let's say this bathroom vanity, let's say we keep them in stock. And so I'm going to do my inventory add. Let's say we bought some more. And I'm going to put on my inventory manager. If you're doing single location, the vendor actually doesn't matter too much. If you're not doing job costing in with your inventory, you can select any vendor, use it how you want to. If you are doing job costing, it might be better if you're picking very specific who the vendor is coming from, or do an inventory manager so it doesn't mess with your job costing. It depends on how you want to do it. I'm going to create this. Now, two things I need to think about is my quantity. Excuse me, this is a inventory add document. So if I type in a number here, 2, it's going to add 2 to my quantity. If I have a price here, it's going to add that price into my budget as a committed cost. And that's going to, like I said, affect your committed cost, and then you can convert this to a bill, so you can get your job costing for this if you want to do job costing with inventory. If you don't want to do job costing with inventory, you just mark it 0, and it doesn't affect your job costing or committed costs. So that's one way, that's how you get through that. I personally don't use a subtraction document either. I just use the add document. If I wanted to subtract, I would do negative. So -2 on an add document would actually subtract 2, right? So we're just going to subtract 1. Let's see how many I have. I've got 7. Okay, well let's do a bigger number just to see. I'm going to save this. And so now this goes to inventory when it's marked approved. So you can type in a subject, say inventory adjustment for vanity, save, approve, update. So now that I updated that, it should subtract 3 from my vanity. There we go. We got 4. You could probably see that. It was so quick. And then it does, it's the same thing over here. There we go. We're back to 4 there. So, so you're doing your POs, and then basically if you want job costing or not, you would do your pricing here. You can convert this to a bill and do your job costing and all that stuff inside your budget for each job for your inventory. So this is single location. Let me show you multi-location. So we've got a multi-location custom field already set up with some inventory. And so you can see we've got 3 locations. We've got a new filter, which filter by location. Still same thing, add inventory. We can do, this is all labor. Let's give me something better. Let's do this. So this is a multi-location inventory, so we can add it a little differently here. We can go ahead and add, just like in JobTread, all the different, we can keep going forever. So we can add that in. Boom. Thank you. And it pops up here because we added the 99 there. So we can sort by different cost codes. We can sort by location, sort by status. And then the new location button here, we get a breakdown of each thing. So you can say, oh, this location has these items, 120 total items, and they're these items. So that's pretty cool. Very helpful if you had vans and different offices and warehouses. It'd be really cool to see, and hopefully that's helpful. Okay, so now let me show you how the POs work for the multi-location. So you would come up here. Let's go back to the budget. So let's say we've got 2 items, sleeve anchors and bathroom vanity. Let's just see where those are. Sleeve anchors here, bathroom vanity down here. So BNA 2, BNA 9, let's say Nashville. We're going to add some more. So this is my Nashville inventory vendor. You have an Atlanta and a St. Louis. You just have all your different locations, your vans. I pick the Nashville one because that's the one I'm adding inventory to. And again, this is an inventory add document. I use add document for add and subtract, so I could put negative quantities here. But I'm going to do add. Let's just add 10 to each. I'm going to do 0 this out so it doesn't affect my job costing. Again, if you want it to affect your job costing, you keep it in, of course. Okay, so 10 of each we're adding. We're going to approve this. And if we go back, we just see B&A 9 to 19, and the bathroom vanity went from 2 to 12. So I can update multiple items for a location. If I wanted to update the Atlanta numbers, I would do an inventory add PO with the Atlanta vendor or whatever location vendor you want it to be in. So yeah, this is how the multi-location works. It's pretty cool. I hope you guys enjoy. If you have any questions, please reach out. If you find anything you're like, hey, I wish it did this or did this, let us know. We'll try to do our best. But this is our version 2 update. So you get a UI, you get multi-location, and a few other fun things. Hope this helps. Talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.